Hello everyone, welcome to our show Creative World. I'm your host Shin Matsuba. We'll be introducing some amazing talented people, chatting with them in a one-on-one interview, hearing their stories, picking their brains, looking through the kaleidoscope of Creative World. Today's Creative World is business and music. Today's guest is a very talented violinist from Oita, Japan. She started learning the violin at the age of 3 and has performed at major venues in Japan and the US, including Carnegie Hall and the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts. She graduated in 2016 from Harvard University, earning a BA with highest honors. Also from the Juilliard School, where she received the William Schumann Prize for Outstanding Achievement and Leadership in Music. She has also published 3 Amazon bestseller books in the past 2 years. She currently serves as an educator, writer, violinist, and entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sumire Hirotsuru.
Sumire Japan provides intensive English workshops and musical performances for youth from all over the world to foster a spirit of global understanding. Our instructors from top US universities have opportunities to design and teach courses for school children, as well as to experience the wide variety of Japanese cultural activities.
Hello, Sumire. Thank you very much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So first of all, I was impressed to read that you graduated from both Harvard University and the Juilliard School with the highest honor and outstanding achievement. So that's actually beyond amazing. But you were in Japan before you came to college, right? So did you have to study English for many years before you were accepted at Harvard? And also, once you arrived, did you actually experience a lot of a cultural difference, especially in the school life?
Yeah, so actually I started learning English when I was really young because my mom is an English teacher. But even then, there were so many vocabularies to learn. And also essay writing was really hard for me. And also learning subjects in different languages is a totally different thing from just learning in Japanese. So that was really hard for me. And once I arrived in the States, I actually didn't have time to actually experience cultural difference because there were so many assignments and I barely slept during my freshman year. But I guess the biggest cultural difference for me was jaywalking because in Japan, at night, even when there are no cars running, I would just wait and people follow rules. So that was kind of a surprise for me.
I see. I totally understand because I experienced the same thing when I came to the States. So, and you've been playing, by the violin since age 3. And what caused you to start playing that instrument? And have you ever wanted to quit?
So I started violin when I was a little before I turned 3. And I actually honestly don't remember when I started, but my parents really loved music, so they really wanted me to start a musical instrument, and that was the violin. And I later started piano when I was 5, but I chose to pursue violin more and more because I really liked the sound better than piano. And because I've been playing more than 25 years, I guess, now that it's so incorporated in my daily routine. So it's like eat breakfast, brush your teeth, and then playing violin. So it's like such a regular routine for me that I actually never have thought about quitting.
Wow, it's fantastic. And as a violinist, you've performed at many venues, right? And thinking back, what was your most memorable concert and why? Also, in the future, if you could perform with any musicians, who would that be?
Oh, so that's really a tough question. But I guess there are 2 most memorable concerts. One was during my high school years. I actually made my passport for the first time in my life and went to Italy for a competition. And I won the competition, so I was awarded a US tour in my second year of high school. And the last stop was Carnegie Royal Recital Hall. And that concert was really memorable because especially the sound was amazing, and also the Carnegie Hall, the name I even knew, even though I was a little student in Oita, in countryside in Japan, I knew about the hall, and that was really eye-opening for me. And the second concert is during my junior year at college. I got to play with Yo-Yo Ma, who is a great cellist in the States. And the concert happened suddenly because I was playing at this faculty reception. I was playing one or two pieces, and actually the director of this ensemble that Yo-Yo runs in Boston was there in the audience. And she later sent me an email saying, "Do you want to play with Yo-Yo Ma?" So I firstly thought, honestly, I thought it was a spam because, such a good news doesn't come that suddenly. But yeah, it turned to be an amazing concert in Sanders Theater in Boston. And that was the concert that triggered me to pursue music more and more.
I've also heard that you co-founded an annual education program for school children called Summer in Japan, in which you invite students from Harvard to Japan, right? So how did you come up with the program? How has your program most benefit the children? And do any particular stories come to mind?
So this program came to my mind. Actually, I co-founded with my mother, who teaches English in Oita, Japan, which is my hometown. And we were talking. I have resources from Harvard, and she has all the students in Japan who want to study English. And she said, what if we start a program where Harvard students come to Oita annually, and if we can, make some curriculum English learning program together. So that was the start of the program. And it's been amazing. It's been 8 years, but it's been amazing to see how students develop their English skills in really quickly over the course of 1 week workshops. And our point is to use English as a tool to learn, for example, presentation skills or academic writing, and not to just learn English. So it's amazing to see how Harvard students really put passion into teaching, and also at the same time how passionate students are in learning those skills. So it's been a great time teaching and organizing the program.
That's great. And you're also a writer, right? So can you tell us a little more about the books you've written?
Yes. So I've written 3 books. Actually, I have the copy of the latest one, which came out in June. And I wrote about self-management for the first 2 books. And the last one is about global communication manners and business manners. Because I started learning English in Japan and then came to the States, I noticed so many differences, and also surrounded by a lot of students, Harvard students, who are really smart. And I learned that self-management is the key for success for many students, that I really wanted to convey that to Japanese audiences and readers.
So your third book came out in June 2020, which is in the middle of this difficult time, right? So did you actually change any of the content that you had written at that point?
Right. So this is the third book that came out this year, and it's called The New Normal, 新世界の常識. And the editor and I were discussing the topic last November 2019, and we didn't expect the current condition at that time. But at the same time, we thought we would write about how the society is changing. So it was actually overlapping what is happening in the society and what I was writing. So that was a really exciting time, and at the same time, a difficult time for me to adjust the contents of my book. But I think what changed the most since the decision of that topic was I wrote more about how it is important to understand each other's background, because now that it is easy to communicate with people all around the world, that we really have to understand which background the person is coming from. And I think that's really important even for Japanese people. In Japan, we don't have many opportunities before. We didn't have many opportunities to talk to a lot of people from different backgrounds, but now it is getting more important. So that was something that I changed in the book this time.
So I know you've given a lecture concert series in Japan, and can you tell us what is unique about the series and what has been rewarding for you?
So I started this lecture concert series last year with my publisher. And the point was we were having the book launch party / lecture for the audience. But at the same time, I really wanted to perform violin because that's a part of my identity. And so I suggested to the publisher that maybe we can combine those two, lecture and the concert, and we can even bring audiences from two different areas. And the goal for me was to expand the audience for my lecture side and my performance side. So I really enjoy playing these concerts / lectures because after the concerts, I always get the questionnaires and they tell me, for example, it was their first time hearing live music, or that was the first time they attended a lecture, like a business talk, because they wanted to hear me play the violin. So that kind of a mixture is really interesting to me, and I really find it rewarding.
I was also surprised to learn that you're the CEO of a music consulting company, and what caused you to start your business in New York?
So I started my business in New York right after I graduated from Juilliard. And that was because I see so many music students around me just playing and practicing to become a better musician, which is amazing. Of course, that's like what we as musicians have to do. But at the same time, it's really hard for us to see the bigger picture of what's going on in the real world. And it's hard for artists to market themselves because we never learn in music school how to survive in the real world and how to brand ourselves. So that's a reason why I started the management / entertainment company, so that I can promote musicians and at the same time produce a show, different shows where I can bring in artists from very different fields.
Sounds like you're really good at coming up with a lot of different ideas and combining it, right?
That's what I really like.
That's cool. So I understand that you work as a violinist, CEO, author, and entrepreneur. So how do you balance pursuing different types of creative roles at the same time internationally? So do you like managing different careers?
I really like managing different fields. It's only because I only do projects that I really love and what I'm passionate about. And that's really motivating for me because I can put all into all the projects. And even though I often get asked if it's really hard to manage so many different things, but for me, it's all my favorite things. And I'd love to do more and more things that I really like. And it's, for example, the education program, it's for my hometown and for all the students. And for example, for my music concerts, those are for audiences around the world. And as a writer, I write for readers all over Japan. So it's all for different audiences, and I love interacting with all the other people. So it's really rewarding to manage different things for me.
I see. So because of this difficult time, a lot of things have changed. But looking forward 5 or even 10 years from now, what would you like to be doing?
I can't even think about 5 years or even a year from now. But